Hi Steve, hi guys. This is Wojciech, Sierra Papa 5, Whiskey Papa, back home in Nowy Dwór Mazowiecki, close to Warsaw in Poland, and I'm using Droid Star today, and I have no traffic, so back to net.
Papa Delta 1 Alpha Charlie Fox.
This is Golf 4 Kilo Lima X-Ray, just south of London, near a place called Crawley, using M17 RF, coming in on M17 client and MMDVM. Yeah, I've got a little bit of traffic.
India Uniform 2, Kilo Whiskey Oscar, Silvano from Parma, Italy, with traffic.
This is Kilo Delta 2, Uniform Quebec Kilo, Rob in Deer Park, New York, no traffic.
Golf Whiskey 8, Sierra Zulu Lima, Dave in Newport, South Wales, in the United Kingdom. Hi Steve, and no traffic today.
This is Kilo Charlie 2, Delta Papa Juliet, from Western New York, no traffic.
This is Mike 0, India, India. This is Mike 0, India, Echo India, Pedro, from Ivy in the UK. This is M17 hotspot client with MMDVM, so I'm on RF for first time with the hotspot. No traffic.
This is Alpha 4 Hotel Sierra, Maitland, operating portable from Washington, D.C. I have no traffic for the net.
Yeah, Roger from G4KLX. Yes, greetings. Yeah, I can't really talk about the hotspot particularly because it's not my area of expertise. I work on the modem side, not the hotspot side, although I have done some upgrades to it. And I did actually start the M17 support, but it was done blindly. Yeah, my bit of traffic is, if you remember, there was a Zoom meeting. Was it Zoom? Yeah, last Sunday, between a good number of us to discuss I don't know, issues of interest to all of us about the future direction of M17 in terms of protocols and things. And we agreed that we would change the way that the end of transmission marker was handled by M17. So as a proof of concept, I've implemented that here and I'm using it at this precise moment. And if it's acceptable, hopefully that will become part of the official M17 standard, which will be good, because I think it'll be more, how can I say, robust than the existing system. And I've also been working on a version of the M17 stuff that includes additional parameters, passing GPS data and things like that, but that's still in very early days. I may have more to report on that next week. So that's what my traffic from G4KLX.
And I muted myself without realizing it. So, all right, I'll go ahead and pass it over to Silvana, IU2KWO, for your information.
Thank you, Steve, and hello, everyone. I have a bunch from the OpenRTX side. Our situation regarding M17 is this one. I basically rewrote the support for M17 protocol in our code base in the last week, and now we have functional transmission of M17 on MD380, and I have to test it on MD-UV380, but we are getting there. There are still some bugs, some problems in the transmission, but I'm confident that they will be solved in not so much time, just in some sense, some implementation details. At the moment, we are sure that reception of the RF signal coming from the MD380 is good using RTL SDR plus M17 C++ demodulator from modeling. We have to do some experimentation to find out why there are some issues in decoding the M17 stream on on Jonathan's work on MDVM, because some users reported that they were not able to decode M17 stream on MDVM, and I think it's a problem on our side, and we have to find out where the problem is. On the other side, we have now functional codec to support on MD380, which is the other important piece, to have functional transmission over RF using MD380. Now codec 2 is working perfectly. I can encode and record audio from the radio microphone, export it via serial port on my computer, and decode it without any problem. Today I did some work on the remaining parts of the hardware mod for the microphone path, also thanks to Pedro, Mike 0 India Echo India, which reported some issues, and there is still a bit of work to do on that side. I found out another way to bring the audio signal from the microphone to the microcontroller, which is a better way than the other one we described on our website. But before making it public, we have to do some compatibility tests between this new mod and the older one to see if there is effectively a significant gain or not. And more or less, the other problems we had with audio, which is Pedro reported that recorded audio was very, very low. Unfortunately, it's a structural problem, because we are trying to push the hardware in a way which was not designed for. So I think we can compensate for this low audio due to hardware problems on the software side. I did some experimentation, and the path is good. So even if when you mod your radio and you flash that anyway, that works. At the moment, if you mod your radio for the audio path and you flash our test suite, which records a piece of audio and then let it back indefinitely, you will get for sure low audio and with a bit of noise. Something which, well, it's due to hardware issues, and I think it's quite difficult to try solve these issues. At least the problem of the low audio level can be compensated in software, because I did some tests today, and yeah, basically we will integrate this software amplification stage in our code base. So summing up, we have modulo some bugs still to be fixed. We have functional transmission of M17 data frames. We have functional codec 2. We just need to fix and implement the remaining pieces. But I think that M17 transmission with voice on MD30 is coming in short times. I cannot give you specific deadlines because we are all doing this work on our free time, which is a bit varying. I mean, I had just a couple of weeks of lot of free time. Next weeks, I don't know if they will. If I don't know if I will have so much free time. So unfortunately, I cannot give you precise deadlines or indications on when we will have fully functional M17 transmission on MD30, but I'm confident that the work to do is not huge, and I think it will come quite soon. And that's it. Back to net control, and sorry for the long talk.
Okay, not a problem at all, Silvano. Thank you for all that information, and like you said, yeah, that was a lot to take in. One of the things that I want to make sure that for people that are outside the United States, please realize that most RF links will time out after 180 seconds, and that's about 3 minutes. That's kind of a general guideline for things that we do here in the United States is we set timeouts to 3 minutes, just in case if there was somebody sitting on their microphone. And I'm getting information from Jonathan. It looks like MMDVMs also by default will time out after 180 seconds. So if you do have a long transmission, just say the word break, and then unkey the radio or turn off the TX. Give it about 2 or 3 seconds for everything to reset, and then go ahead and start your transmission again. I guess 120 seconds is common in the UK for FM, which is interesting. I thought 3 minutes was a global kind of agreed, not really standard, but kind of one of those things there. That everybody agrees on, I suppose. All right, so with that, are there any questions for Silvano or the OpenRTX project? If so, please call now.
Yeah, one question from Papa Delta 1 Alpha Charlie Fox.
Wow.
Okay, Ron, PD1 ACF, go ahead with your question.
Today I just noticed that there was a new development branch from the M17. I flashed it into my RT3, which is I think compatible with the MD30. I noticed that the whole menu structure of FM, DMR, and also M17 is now present, which I'm very pleased with. It looks okay. FM seems to be working also, audio also. I'm not sure about M17 yet. I will start experimenting with that. But I just wanted to mention that I have the latest installed, and it looks quite impressive.
Okay. I think I got almost all your questions and so on, because the audio was a bit disturbed, at least for me. Anyway, what happened in those days, because I remember that you did some tests some around a week ago. What happened was that I basically renamed the old M17 dev branch to M17 old dev, because that branch contained a lot of really messy stuff. So we decided to basically to restart from scratch and creating a new M17 dev branch and importing in M17 dev all the work we did on M17 old dev, fixing and cleaning up where necessary. If you flash that branch on your radio, you will get M17 transmission. However, the content of the frames is pseudo-random byte sequence. It's not voice, because we still have to do some tests before integrating codec 2 and voice transmission. So if you compile and flash from that branch, you have M17 data transmission, like better. You have transmission of M17 frames like configured for voice data stream, but you will get random bytes inside the packets at the moment for debugging purposes. When that part is stable and codec 2 is stable, and we will merge the two, and we will effectively have an M17 voice transmission. That's it, more or less. Back to net control.
Okay, Silvano, thank you for that explanation. Ron, does that answer your question?
Yeah, for sure, no problem. I have all copied it, and if there are any questions, I will do that on the Discord channel.
Awesome. All right. So with that, actually mentioning the Discord channel, I want to also have everyone that's listening to the net, please join us on our Discord channel, or visit our website, M17Project.org. All the information for getting in touch with us is there, including the links to our Discord, as well as our Twitter, Facebook, and our email address. So if you need to get in touch with us, you can go and get all that information right from our website. OpenRTX's website is openrtx.org as well, and they have their contact information there. So feel free to reach out to them if you have any questions. With that, that takes care of everybody that's got traffic, so I'll open it up for anyone that has any questions or comments for the net. And if there are anybody that's waiting to check in, please go ahead and call now.
Yeah, this is again Ron. I have one question and one remark.
Okay, Ron, the floor is all yours.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I have a question about the hotspot firmware. I think we have on board on the meeting who can maybe enlighten us a little bit about the firmware he is using. I would also be happy to be testing with that, because so far I'm not lucky in getting that working. And there was one remark on the M17 Project.org website /reflector. There are some status icons which on the left-hand side next to the reflector name, I think they're not working. They seem to be a sort of empty icons. That was one which I wanted to mention. But for the rest, I would be very interested in some info about hotspot firmware.
Okay, I can answer that comment about the reflector page on the website. If you are going to m17project.org/reflectors, that is a very, very old system that we used in order to list the reflectors and provide up and down information. The programming for that was not very good, namely because I was the one that programmed it. It was kind of a really quickly pieced together thing that I had in order to get at least things rolling for registering reflectors and everything. The current site is now reflectors.m17.link, which I thought that I had fixed all of the references to on the website, the m17.org website. I must have overlooked something, and you're still getting the old page. So the proper page for reflectors is reflectors.m17.link. There is no status up-down information because in order to keep the amount of traffic to a minimum, I had to stop receiving or actively polling each reflector. There's going to be a new system when a new version of the MRefD reflector software comes out. Hopefully I can build something in with Tom that will automatically send out an informational packet to some sort of central server, and it will update that information for the website, so you'll get that live information. But you can see the reflector list and click on any reflector that's there, and see its dashboard page, assuming that the dashboard page is working. Pause for just a second. And let's see, talking about the MMDVM hotspot firmware. So for me, I'm using the EOF branch of the MMDVM HS firmware that can be found on Jonathan G4KLX's website. Sorry, not website, GitHub. And the compiling and configuring and all that other stuff, it would take too long to go through over the net. So if you have any questions or comments about developing or assisting with the development for the hotspot firmware, you can come to our Discord channel, hop onto the dev chat channel, and usually somebody that's working on the hotspot firmware, or at least trying to make it work, is available there. Right now, I know that it's myself, DB9 MAT over there in Germany. I think M0IEI is going to be playing around with it too. We have our resident Australian. Let me grab his call sign, VK3JED. He's going to be getting his hotspot soon, so he'll be helping out with that as well. And Jonathan G4KLX, he's taking all of our information and giving us a hand as well for the MMDVM hotspot firmware. I haven't been able to get it to work 100% on my side, but I also have a different version of the hotspots than everybody in Europe is testing. So I hope that we can get everything ironed out and fixed. So if you, like I said, I'll just go back on what I had originally said. If you want to help out, hop onto the dev chat channel in Discord, and we can talk about it there. I just don't want to hold up the net for too long trying to explain everything I'm doing. So with that, I'll go ahead and make one last call. We're getting up to a half an hour. Usually we try to keep these things to about a half an hour. But if there's anybody that wishes to check in or has any questions or comments, please call now.
I have some comments. M0IEI, sorry.
That's quite all right, Pedro. M0IEI, this is KC1AWV-R Control. Go ahead, Pedro.
Well, okay, yeah, it's going on into the network. I have several things to comment. First thing is for the Open RTX tests. The amplitude modulation of the MMDVM changed lately. Jonathan could explain more information, more details. I understood that the levels we were using on the first stages of the M17 with the MMDVM were not the same that we are using right now. It was increased a bit more. That's what I understood. So the test with OpenRTX sending traffic to an MMDVM, my plan was doing something this weekend because now I have all the toys. I'm using right now, I'm transmitting with the hotspot. With a hotspot, by the way, I'm using one with 14.7 megahertz TCX. So my one was homebrew made, it's not a common one, and it's working. Break. I'm back. And so it's working. I'm using RF. I'm using now the hotspot with the new levels Jonathan recovered. The last version Matt is uploaded, so it's the EOF branch. You can find it in Jonathan's GitHub. And the MMDVM is also the EOF branch. I'm using an Icon 7100 to receive. It's connected to the MMDVM, so it's working. So that's one part. Other thing I wanted to comment is I will try to do some more tests for the OpenRTX Silvano with the oscillator to get the proper signals and see how the microphone picks how the processor, the STM32, sees the audio. And also have plans for next week. Is going to be seeing that all this works. If I manage to get rid of a really nasty hum I got from the mobile microphone, I will start doing car testings so having a hotspot at home and going around and transmitting with M17 and see how it behaves. That's all my comments. Back to the net, Ed.
Okay, so from what I understand, Pedro is able to get the hotspot to work. So I think my issue is that I'm having is probably related to the MMDVM modem that I have transmitting into my hotspot. So I guess I have some work to do over the weekend. I'll have to double check the deviation and make sure that everything is set properly because I don't remember. I've swapped out radios on my side too many times, so I don't know which one is set for which. So I got a handful of modems, but I don't know which one's paired to what radios. So it's probably a silly thing on my side that is causing the problem. So excellent. Well, thank you for all that information, Pedro. Glad to hear that you're able to get everything working with the hotspot. And Jonathan says that he has made changes to some of the settings for the deviation in the MMDVM firmware to match the M17 specification. So that should probably iron out some of the other issues that I might be having. All right. With that, I'll go ahead and put out another call for any questions, comments, or check-ins. Please call KC1AWV Net Control.
KC2 DPJ Net Control.
Okay, Jim. This is KC1AWV Net Control. Go ahead.
Just a quick question. There are still a number of reflectors on the reflector list in which you bring it up and there is no dashboard or no list, and so you have really no way of knowing how to get into that reflector. Is there any other way of being able to tell the activity on that reflector? I know you have said that it's up to the individual owners or administrators of that particular reflector to be putting up a dashboard. Over.
And Jim, you're 100% correct with that. It is up to the reflector sysop owner, maintainer, whoever happens to be, creating that information in the reflector list for that information to be correct is double checked before it is published. However, there is no further checks after that initial publication of the reflector until somebody emails us to let us know that there is a problem with that reflector. There could be possibly a problem with the reflector, or if the reflector owner takes it down and doesn't let us know, it could be a stale record. So if you do come across a record that is stale, go ahead and email us. If you just want to check to see if the reflector is up, just open it up in DroidStar or open it up in MVoice, open it up in DudeStar. If it opens up, then great. You got connected and you know that it's running. You could also probably do a telnet to see if the port's open. You could probably do a something like that in order to check and see, if that IP address is actually responding on that IP address that's listed. There is no right now. It's difficult to determine exactly whether or not a reflector is up because there is no outside way of polling or having the reflector itself send out information saying, hey, I'm alive. I'm working on something to kind of alleviate that issue in order to show, an up-down status on the website, but it's time consuming, and we're all volunteers on this right now, and we can only do what we can while we have the time. So it's going to be slow going, but eventually it will get there. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, roger that, and much appreciated. KC2DPJ.
Okay, great. So with that, I'll go ahead and pass it out one more time for any questions, comments, or check-ins. If so, please call KC1AWV Net Control. Okay, nothing heard. Well, with that, I will go ahead and close out the net for the 27th of August, 2021. I want to thank all 10 stations, that includes myself, for checking in, and the many, many others that are listening in. Thank you for participating in this week's net. Without your participation, it would be kind of a little bit of a, silent room, and we would be building something for, ghosts, I suppose. So yeah, thank you for everybody checking in. I appreciate it. I need to go and grab my lunch before it gets cold. It just showed up, so I'll go ahead and close out the net. This is KC1AWV Net Control, securing the M17 Project Net at 17:43 on the 27th of August 2021, and returning the reflector back to general amateur use. Thank you for everybody checking in, and have a great weekend.